This is more of an oil update and also a silver update, but first I'd like to point out about palladium. I was almost thinking I jumped, well, I didn't actually get out of palladium at the exact perfect time. I never seem to do that right, but I do seem to get the basic trends not bad. I got out of it a little bit below 700, then it went up to about 720. I think I got out at about 690 or something. Well, lo and behold, it dropped again. And at first it didn't seem like it would, but I always seem to think, gold and silver are getting hit hard, and palladium and platinum aren't some days. Then all of a sudden, it's palladium and platinum get hit. I think this palladium, if silver gets hammered down to like 26 or below, palladium probably is going to be under 500. Now you notice the gold, well, this is the gold platinum ratio. Gold is 2% more than platinum again. It was down to like 98% of platinum, and it really should be more like about 60% of platinum or something like that. Actually, in a good economy, platinum is about twice gold. So crude oil is down a great deal, and I'm actually in double leverage crude oil, and that's not good for me, but I'm holding on because unexpected news with the Middle East is just like, you don't know what's going to happen. Even if I assume a war is not going to happen right away, one news story could pop this market $5 up like nothing. And again, this is the I think the lines, a lot of times I can't draw the lines on this chart because it's really a free public chart. Sometimes it's not available, but you can imagine there's the flag itself, and as long as this stays above, say, well, actually, as long as it stays above 100, it's bullish. But as long as it stays above this 103, it's bullish. And here's the flag formation. It's still there, but aside from this so-called flag formation, which is supposedly a bullish sign, is the fact that quite obvious what's going on. I mean, I don't need to look at this chart to realize, the market in oil could pop at any time. It could, and pop upward. In other words, too. There is not much demand going on, but there's the situation in the Middle East. Just one news story changed the situation in no time flat. Now, one thing I found out interesting is with Saudi Arabia. Saudi asked their customers, "Do you need more oil?" And the answer is no, thank you. And I found this interesting because it was an anonymous major oil trader. Didn't want to reveal who he was because of all his relations going on with the markets and inside contacts he has. He didn't want to say who his name was, so he's probably giving the truth. Because if Saudi Arabia really wanted to lower overall oil prices, it could just lower it by lowering Saudi's asking prices. Then customers might want to buy more. In other words, that's kind of a naive statement by a trader, which I find kind of interesting. But he's just saying, why don't they just offer lower prices in the first place without even, trying to see what the competition's doing, which to me is stupid. I don't know why they would want to do that, but that's what he suggests. Saudi prices are adjusted monthly, but the trader says Saudi Aramco is extraordinarily inflexible in the terms it offers its buyers. I could see so, and they're trying to get the most for their oil. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they're stupid, but that makes it difficult for them to turn their rhetoric about supply into a signal to the market. So they're going to keep the oil prices up. That's another angle why the oil prices are probably going to stay up, even though they're dropping today, quite a bit. They're probably going to stay up because, for instance, for Saudi to make these promises, they could say they're going to extraordinary lengths to provide oil to the world, and we're going to keep the prices up. To hell with it. So it's not even over a war yet. It's just over general tensions in the Middle East and shortages globally due to Iranian oil being restricted. Now, as far as silver, down to 31.40 right now. This is on Kitco's site. But looking at the charts, And I know charts I don't have a lot of faith in too much all the time too, but it's pretty much, you could see this cycle. We're probably, we had a 26 low here, 20 or 27 low here, 26, 27 low here. Probably going to hit it right around beginning of April, possibly, right here in silver. So I am in just double leverage silver, and actually there's pretty much a double leverage on a short side. And there's somewhat of a gain now. I'm also long on the oil, so there's somewhat of a loss, but I'm holding on to that oil because I don't know when that's going to pop. And I plan to probably hold it. I think over this weekend we might see another major drop in silver prices. And usually when it does this, you look at this mark overall, right? And you look at the type of drops it can have. This can extend all the way below 30. And this is one reason sometimes I don't know when to get in the market to make, when it's going to bounce. Say it dropped here a hard amount, when's it going to bounce? That was a little bit of a bounce, then it dropped 2 more days. If you're looking back here, it's really hard to guess when a bounce is going to be, because sometimes it can drop 3 days in a row. Sometimes, when it's crashing, it crashes like a falling knife off a cliff. And it's hard to judge when to get out of it, but I tend to kind of look, hopefully I'm right, because you just make money on it, the hell with it. But I tend to look at a little bit longer time frame than a daily time frame. It's very difficult to me to judge a daily time frame. I found this interesting, switching back to oil again. There's a forecast that the U.S. is going to surpass Saudi Arabia in a matter of a few years in oil production. And that's quite interesting because that is one of the Lindsey Williams predictions, that they said that U.S. oil production would come on strong. They would eliminate all the need for using Saudi oil and stuff like that. And actually by next year, 2013, between U.S. crude oil production and natural gas combined, we're already ahead of a lot of Middle Eastern countries. But as far as by 2016, let's say about 4 years from now, the United States is forecast to be the #1 oil producer in the world again. And that is according to, not according to, but jives in conjunction with, or agrees with Lindsey Williams' prediction that the oil interest would come on very strong in the United States and our oil capacity would go up a great deal. I find that very interesting. So, as far as the price of it, I don't know. I'll tell you right now, I think there's a hell of a lot of different ways to use a lot less oil, and they suppress that technology. Since I'm somewhat mechanically orientated too, I'm going to probably get into a little bit more of that type of stuff, because I'm quite curious about some of these devices they have for automobiles that can get, can get extreme mileage, and I think a lot of that stuff is absolutely correct, and they do suppress it. But I have a mechanic's hat too, so I might get into some more of that too. Kind of interested about some of it, because if you lower this overall, the cost to the average consumer of the price of crude oil, and a lot of it goes into their car, I think even more, and also the home for heating, depends on where they're at. That's a big amount of money, and you consider the transportation of goods and everything like that. And that's probably where you're going to see Boone Pickens' plan for putting the 18-wheel trucker fleet on natural gas. That can happen. That conversion could happen within 12 months. That fast, and that actually is enough to cut off all the OPEC nations right there, because we have that much natural gas. So, looking at some of the overall picture, it could be that when they have this war with Iran, they're probably just going to cause all the Middle East countries to destroy themselves. It'll also cut off the oil supply to China, and that'll stunt their growth. And like I said, I think there's a lot of Western elite that have different ideas than the generally Soros-controlled Obama. And there's a lot of different interests going on and push and shove. Yeah, U.S. is kind of the evil empire in some ways, but I think so is every place else, you know. So it's like where you live is where you got to stick up for. That's what way I look at it. It's not as evil as some people think, but I think it's going to be the end result is that Saudi Arabia, Iran, all those Middle Eastern countries are going to probably cease producing anywhere near the oil they were before, and you're looking at the forecast for Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. They're going up tremendously. So wherever the oil is produced is where the wealth is going to be, and that's good news for the United States. That's the way I look at it.